Hello everyone, this is Fahad Mirza and I welcome you to my channel. In this video, we are going to have a look at a very interesting Python library which is called as BentoML. It's not a new library, it's been around for quite a while and I already have done an introductory video on it last year. But in this video, we are going to go into a bit more depth because what BentoML does is something very useful. It enables you to serve your large language models locally. There are a lot of other libraries and tools which do the same, but BentoML has been around for some time. It is pretty solid, and then there are few things which are optimized for AI apps and model inference. Also, if you're looking to build an online serving system with the power of AI, maybe have a look at this BentoML. You can easily build APIs for any machine learning AI model. They also provide you some cookie cutter code which you can customize for your models. It enables REST API, so it means that with just few lines of code and standard Python type hints, you can customize it heavily. It also supports Docker containers, so you don't have to worry about any dependencies and all that stuff. It could be an isolated environment with everything enclosed and encapsulated in your Docker images, which ensures, of course, reproducibility, and it simplifies how you deploy to different environments. Also, it supports both CPU and GPU. It also goes very well with the recent optimization features like dynamic batching, model parallelism, multi-stage pipeline, and even multi-model inference graph orchestration. You can develop, run, and debug locally. Also, they have some cloud offering, which I'm not going to go into because we will stick with open source and free. So we are going to install a BentoML and we will see how it works with couple of models. One model, the summarization model, comes built in with its library. We will check it out first and then we will move on to the um, custom model. We will check it out with Mistral or Llama. We'll see how it goes. Before I start installing it, let me give a huge shout out to Mast Compute who are sponsoring the VM and GPU for this video. If you're looking to rent a GPU on very good prices, I will drop the link to their website in video's description. I'm also going to give you a coupon code of 50% discount on range of GPUs, so do check them out. This is my Ubuntu system and this is my GPU card NVIDIA RTX A6000 with 48 GB of VRAM courtesy Mast Compute. Let me first create a virtual environment. I would highly recommend that you do it to keep everything separate. And now let's git clone the repo of BentoML and I will drop the link to it in video's description. Also, you can see that I am using Python 3.11 that is recommended. And once you have git clone it and you are in this quick start directory, let's install all the requirements. That is going to take a minute or two. Okay, so all the installation is done. Now let me show you how we can build a simple serving service for the model. I'm just going to maybe create a new directory or we can even use the stuff from here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to launch my VS Code and I will show you the code. It will be a simple Python code. So this is a simple Python code as you can see. So if you open this service, all we are doing here is we are importing the bento and the transformers pipeline. This is example input which you can of course change as per your own use case. It's just a breaking news from a whimsical town, Willow Creek, and this is where we are defining the service. So if you look at this code, there is a summarization class, and in this class the BentoML service is retrieving a pre-trained model and initializing a pipeline for text summarization. And then we have this summarize method that is serving as the API endpoint. It accepts a string input with a sample provided, processes it through the pipeline and returns the summarization text as I showed you above. In BentoML, a service is a deployable and scalable unit, which is defined as a Python class using the BentoML.service decorator, as you can see here. It can manage states and their life cycles. It can expose one or more multiple APIs accessible through HTTP, and each API within the service is defined using the BentoML.API decorator, as you can see here, specifying it as a Python function. Also, the BentoML dot importing Context manager is used to handle import statements for dependencies required during serving but may not be available in other situations. But I think for this purpose, it is more than enough. So it's already there. Requirement we already have seen. Licenses, so you can check it out. And then this is a simple bento file, YAML file where you need to define the service. This is a service name. These are few of the tags on it. And this is the file which we need, the service.py. And these are the requirements which we already have installed if you're looking to deploy it as a service. It's a simple YAML file. Okay, so that is done. Let's go to terminal and let's try to serve the model. And in order to serving the model, the command is fairly simple, which you can readily use, something like this, where we are using this BentoML serve and the service which we have just created. So you see that first it's converting it into lowercase, and then it is starting the production HTTP server. First time when we run it, it is going to download this lightweight summarization model from Hugging Face, and it is already being served at localhost at port 3000, and service summarization has been initialized. Now you can access this service through curl, your Python API client, or whatever API client which can deal with a REST API. So the model is being served, and now in order to access that endpoint, which is localhost at port 3000, you can simply use this client code in Python or through curl or whatever. So I'm using Python here. I'm importing BentoML. I'm using this with block in this one. This is the endpoint I'm calling, and this is the API call I'm making to summarize this text. So if I go to my terminal and run this code, it is going to use that endpoint to use that served model and give us the summary of this text. This is all we need to do. And of course, you can replace that model which is embedded in that code with any model you like. So in order to serve, for example, a Mistral model or Llama model, you can use VLLM with BentoML. Let me show you a quick example of that. Let me git clone the repo which they have also shared. So this is a BentoVLLM repo where you can see that they have given us this example of Mistral 7 billion, and there are a lot of other models like Llama model and few others, and I believe you can also replace it with your own model quite easily. So, and it all uses it from the Hugging Face. And then after git cloning the repo, I'm just installing the requirements. Most of them should already be there as we already installed it. Let's wait for it. So the requirements are done. Let me quickly set my Hugging Face CLI token because it downloads the tokens from Hugging Face. So you would need to go to huggingface.co and then grab your free token from there, your profile. Now before I run it, let me quickly show you the code to show you how easy it is to define the service. So the main thing here is first look at this YAML file where we have defined this VLLM service. This is the requirement of our Hugging Face token which I already have set and all that stuff. And these are the files which we are including for our application, and we already have installed requirements. And if you look at the service.py, this is where all the stuff is happening, where we have imported the library, we have specified the model. You can replace it with your own model name and make sure that if there is any chat template, for example this prompt is quite geared towards Mistral. If you are using llamas, just change it as per your llama model, and then rest of it should be the same because it's a simple VLLM. And this is all the stuff which I told you about, all the context manager and decorators. So it is pretty simple code which you can use in order to customize your own model. And then and then similarly, in order to serve the model, all we need to do is to serve it there like this BentoML serve dot. First time it is going to download the model as it is doing right now, and then you can use it in your API endpoint. And the model is downloaded, and you can see that the service is initialized now at our localhost at port 3000, which you can use it from any API endpoint. So for instance, if I close this and take you to my VS Code again, this is the same code with the same endpoint, and I have just changed the prompt, and it is going to access it on the localhost, and it doesn't really matter which model is running there. Earlier we were running that lightweight model from Hugging Face for summarization, and now we are running Mistral 7 billion at the same endpoint. So you can replace your model with, and it's seamless for your application. And now when I run it, it will show me the response from the local Mistral 7 billion model, that happiness is super cool feeling and all that stuff. So amazing tool, I would say, and it has improved a lot from last year, which is really good. The project is still active. I will drop the link to it in video description. Let me know what do you think about this model serving framework. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you are already subscribed, please share it among your network as it helps a lot. Thank you for watching.